I audible? Fine. So thank you so much, Jagriti, for replying. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I'm Lakshmi Kushwaha, your educator for Code 55 on Unacademy Plus platform. Today's YouTube channel class is related to, again, evolution of trade union. Meanwhile, others are joining. Let me introduce myself. I'm Lakshmi Kushwaha, a verified educator on Unacademy. You can follow me for all the courses related to Code 55. If you are preparing for NTA NET, if you are preparing for PhD entrance, if you are preparing for PSUs, and any such other exam which is having labor law as in subject. I have qualified NET in Human Resource Management, labor law with 98.74 percentile, holding 4.5 years of professional experience and 3 years of teaching, verified educator on Unacademy and content creator. Other than this, Iconic and Plus benefits are available to you. You can go for Iconic subscription. Expert guidance, test analysis, personal guidance, study planner is available. All you have to do, you can avail all this benefit by using the code Lakshmi K Live and get the discount, avail the discount available on the Plus or Iconic subscription. And very new, very interesting thing that is going to happen on 5th of September, Teachers Day, an important occasion. So don't miss 6 p.m. You can just click on the link given in the description box and tune in into the class rather than class a session at 6 p.m. onwards, 5th September. Don't miss this. Fine. So this was all about Unacademy's Plus course and about me. Yesterday, we actually started the evolution of trade unionism, which is very, very important part from exam point of view, right? Today, we are going to continue the same. But before we move ahead, I would like to repeat few things that will help you to give the background. So I started with the meaning of trade union. What do you mean by trade union? What is the background? How the evolution of trade union have taken place? Then what are the moderate leaders? What are the radical leaders? Who are the communists? Who are the industrialists? The definition was given, right? The phases of evolution of trade union has happened in the 3 stages or 6 phases. We completed pre-1918, the genesis of the labor movement in India, means a movement of labor. How the movement of labor movement actually started in India. How in protest kind of thing started. So we started and we completed this. Today we are going to actually move to 1918, 1824, which was the early trade union phase, first trade union, registered trade union, which started in our country, right? Anyone having the doubt in 1918? So features of this, I'm not going to repeat all this thing because we have already done in yesterday's session. So today we would be starting from the next phase. The another phase is your 1918, from 1918 to 24, which is called as the early, or you can call it is also called as modern trade union phase. Okay, this was the era which was called as era of formation of modern trade union in India. ठीक है. So initially हमने पढ़ा 1918 से पहले तक till 1911. On before 1918 there was no formal registered trade union. एक कोई भी registered trade union नहीं थी. फॉर्म बस associations थे, organizations थे. वो as in वो सारे associations, organizations, they were started actually by some reformers, some philanthropists, some social workers, and that movement was started by those people for the workers. So those movement, that labor movement was not actually a movement by the workers. The era before 1918 is a labor movement which is dominated or being is said to be an era of labor movement in India, where N.M. Lokhande is considered to be the father of labor movement in India. Now, 1918, this was the year when a proper registered trade union came into the existence. So I will write few points and then I would explain you. So it was the first 1918 when Madras, M-A-D-A-R-S, Madras Labor Union, this came into the existence, and this was the first registered, or you can say organized, trade union which started under the presidentship of VP Wade. इनकी प्रेसिडेंटशिप में द मद्रास लेबर यूनियन वाज फॉर्म. The labor union actually was organized one which started actually by the laborers. तो ये पहली हमारी रजिस्टर्ड ट्रेड यूनियन थी जहां पे एक प्रॉपर ट्रेड यूनियन या मॉडर्न ट्रेड यूनियन फॉर्म हुई थी. इसके बाद का एरा, then came your 1919. Now 1918 to 1924, this was actually an era where number of trade unions came into the existence. बहुत सारी ट्रेड यूनियन धीरे धीरे एग्जिस्टेंस में आई, एंड दिस ट्रेड यूनियंस आल्सो स्टार्टेड फॉर्मिंग द फेडरेशन फॉर एफिलिएटिंग एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल. सो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए भी दिस ऑल ट्रेड यूनियन स्टार्टेड फॉर्मिंग द फेडरेशन. दैट फेडरेशन इज, वन ऑफ देम इज ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस. ये फेडरेशन थी where 64 trade unions of India came together and they formed the All India Trade Union Federation in 1920. Now, why All India Trade Union Federation was formed, I will explain you in detail. But let's first understand, in 1919, 1918 was the first registered trade union or organized trade union formed. In 1919, there was the formation of International Labour Organization. This International Labour Organization was the result of Treaty of Versailles signed at Geneva. Why this treaty? Why this International Labour Organization was formed? After the First World War, the great powerful countries of the world realized, or the great leaders in the country realized, or all over the world realized, that it is the social justice and it is the peace through which the industrial harmonical situation can be maintained in the world. Otherwise, this war would happen. As a result, ILO, Indian Labour Organization, came into the existence with an objective of maintaining a social dialogue and maintaining an uniform standards of labor. पूरे वर्ल्ड में एक यूनिफॉर्म स्टैंडर्ड्स बनाने के लिए ILO का फॉर्मेशन हुआ. ILO was formed in 1919 and India became a founding member. India इसकी founding member बनी 1919 में ही. So founding member was India. And here, when India was a founding member, there were the delegates also. अब वो delegates कहाँ से आए थे? I will explain you next points. पहले ILO was formed for maintaining a social dialogue or a tripartite dialogue, or maintaining a standard of the labor standard uniform होने चाहिए all over the country. India became a founding member in 1919 itself, and 1922 में it became a part of its governing body. So now what is governing body? ILO has got three bodies. ILO has got three. ILC, Indian Labour Conference, International Labour Organization has got three bodies or three parts. International Labour Conference, which is an apex body, then your governing body, which is an executive body, and your international secretariat, that is your International Information Labour Office, International Labour Bureau Office or Labour Bureau. So it was a labor office which used to share the information or disseminate the information. ILO का काम क्या था? ILO was formed with an objective to have the representatives internationally from the employers, employees and the government, so that they can come together and form the standards in the form of recommendations and conventions and apply those standards all over the country for the labor. सभी जगह पे लेबर स्टैंडर्ड्स मेंटेन करने के लिए। आईएलसी अपेक्स बॉडी थी जो रिकमेंडेशंस और कन्वेंशंस के फॉर्म में इट यूज्ड टू मेक द स्टैंडर्ड्स। गवर्निंग बॉडी वाज एन बॉडी which used to actually help to implement those standards. तो गवर्निंग बॉडी का हिस्सा इंडिया 1922 में बनी and ILC was to disseminate the information related to all standards. Now, what you have to remember here that in 1919 ILO, International Labour Organization, was very important role, it played a very important role in bringing out the trade union movement or organizing the trade unions all over the world. Now, as a result of this 1919 International Labour Organization, in 1920, there were few things happened. Number of the things happened. पहले हम पढ़ते हैं All India Trade Union Congress was formed. Now, this All India Trade Union Congress is an federation. Trade Union Congress was a federation. Federation means when one or more trade union, they come together and they form the federation. This federation was in itself first federation of trade union in India, Central Federation of Trade Union in India. This is what you need to know. Second, All India Trade Union Congress, the 64 trade union got affiliated to All India Trade Union Congress. ठीक है, All India Trade Union Congress कितने 64. Now this was under the leadership of presidentship of Lala Lajpat Rai ji. You need to remember this. Okay, he was president or founding president, rather you can say founding president. Then other members, secretary members, the general secretary were, you need to remember the general secretary as well. Exam में question आता है. The general secretaries were given Chaman Lal and NM Joshi were other members as well. SV Deshpande. Okay. Now, why this All India Trade Union Federation was formed? The All India Trade Union Federation was direct result of ILO. ILO form हुई. ILO wanted and delegates, representatives from the different countries, representative from the employees, representative from the employer, and representative from the government. So, in order to represent the employees or trade union, अब ILO में ट्रेड यूनियन को कौन रिप्रेजेंट करेगा? सो ILO में ट्रेड यूनियंस को ऑन दी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू फ्रॉम इंडिया, इंडिया से कौन रिप्रेजेंट करेगा? फॉर दैट ऑल इंडियन ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन विच वाज एन इंटरनेशनल फेडरेशन फॉर्म, which was a federation form, and it represented India in ILC meeting, International Labour Conference meeting. So जो International Labour Conference की पहली मीटिंग थी, it was attended by NM Joshi. He was the first delegate to represent India or the employee side at the Indian International Labour Conference. ठीक है? 1920. Yes, 1920 Tanu. Is this clear to everyone? यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया? चलो, लेट मी नो यहाँ तक समझ में आया है तो. इसके अलावा भी हम और सारी चीजें करेंगे. ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन क्यों फॉर्म हुई, क्या रीजन था? अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन so now, oh sorry, there is some network technical issue. So now, as a result of this all India, founder नहीं, ऋतु लाला लजपत राय वॉज द प्रेसिडेंट. ठीक है, जो ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन था, ये मॉडरेटर लीडर्स भीवन लाल चमन, एनएम जोशी, एसवी देशपांडे, ये एनएम जोशी, ये लोग कौन थे? ये सारे लोगों ने मिलकर, इन लोगों ने मिलकर जवाहरलाल नेहरू के लीडरशिप में ये सारा ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस बना था. लाला लजपत राय वॉज द प्रेसिडेंट. हु वॉज द फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट? लाला लजपत राय. तो आपको ये दो जनरल सेक्रेटरी थे, ये मेंबर्स थे. ठीक है. एनएम जोशी ने फॉर्म किया था. ही वॉज एन प्रेसिडेंट वॉज लाला लजपत राय वॉज द प्रेसिडेंट. rather than founding president, just remember the president. And who was general secretary? धीवन चमन लाल. ये टर्म्स आपको वैसे ही याद रखने. ठीक है. नाउ 1920 में as a result of this all India trade union formation, it resulted in 1922 में all India रेलमेंस, इसका क्या काम था हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. रेलमेंस फेडरेशन ऑल इंडिया AIRF in 1922. जैसे हमने अमेलगमेटेड सोसाइटी ऑफ रेलवे वर्कमैन पढ़ा, उसी तरीके से जैसे इन लोगों ने फेडरेशन बनाया, ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस केम, नंबर ऑफ द ट्रेड यूनियन केम टुगेदर एंड दे फॉर्म द फेडरेशन फॉर रिप्रेजेंटिंग एट द इंटरनेशनल लेवल एंड रिप्रेजेंटिंग द ट्रेड यूनियन एट द इंडिया लेवल और नेशनल लेवल. Similarly, in 1922, All India Railmen's Federation was formed, where the different trade unions or different amalgamated society of railways, specifically railmen's, they came together and they formed the federation. ये 1920 में डायरेक्ट रिजल्ट था 1919 का ऑल इंडिया इंटरनेशनल लेबर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. अब 1920 में ही there were two more things which happened and which marked very important thing in the history of trade union. 1920 में there was formation of Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association. Now, this was under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Who? Leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, founded by or under the leadership in the sense महात्मा गांधी की गाइडेंस में, under the leadership or founded by Anusuya Ben Sarabhai. She was the first lady who initiated the trade union movement in India. ठीक है. And along with her there was Shankarlal Bankar. And this was all under the guidance of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. That is Ahmedabad Textile Mill. Now, Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association was also known as, मैं वही टर्म्स लिख रही हूँ जो आपको एग्जाम में पूछे जाते हैं, also known as मजूर महाजन संघ. I don't know, people don't have any work other than interfering the classes. Seriously. Now, this was under the guidance of Mahatma Gandhi. Again, the work or the purpose of forming the Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association was to get the better wages, better facilities to trade unions or the workers or employees belonging to the trade unions. उनको अच्छी facilities के लिए ये association form की गई थी. This was the first time when hunger strikes were done in India. So first time hunger strike, अगर आपको question आता है when did it happen? So first time hunger strike happened at Ahmedabad because of the Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association, again in the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, and this was why for the 50% increment in their wages. उनकी वेजेस इतनी कम थी कि कुछ हासिल ही नहीं होता था. सो अंडर द महात्मा गांधी's guidance, अनुसुईया बेन formed an labor association, Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association, in order to get the 50% increase in wages and they did a series of the hunger strike. So this is all about 1920 Ahmedabad Textile Labor Association. It is also known as Majur Mahajan Sangh. Is this clear to everyone? फिर आगे बहुत 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 ही ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक पे चलेंगे जिसने हमारा ट्रेड यूनियन एक्ट 1926 एग्जिस्टेंस में लाया. चलो क्विकली. Is this clear? Yeah. Now, in 1920 only, there was an case, Buckingham Mill case, which happened. So I will explain you what happened here. Let me write it down, the points, so that you can note it down. So what was this case? In 1920, there was an mill, Carnatic Mill, Buckingham Mill case, where there was a dispute between the laborers and the employer. As a result of this dispute, the Madras Labor Union, which was led by B.P. Vadia, went on the strike. They did a series of the strike. And the employers, they made or brought or they took that particular strike to the High Court. The Madras High Court, Honorable High Court, they declared this strike to be illegal, stating that this strike was illegal in nature, and it declared it to be a criminal conspiracy against the employer, which have brought the production, decreasing the productivity or losses to the employer, because of which losses हुए, employer का loss हुआ इनकी activity की वजह से, because of which Madras High Court declared all those employees who were involved in this strike to break down their contract with the employer, and they all were sent to the imprisonment. तो जितने लोग थे सभी को जेल हुई, along with B.P. Vadia, who was leading this Madras Labor Union. This incident made the trade unions and the employees realize, no, this is not going to work. We need to have something very consolidated. We need to have something which will give us the protection and immunity against such thing, because we have right to strike. अगर हमारी बात पूरी नहीं होती, we can strike. We have the right to strike. What if in such cases every time we are sentenced to the jail? As a result of this case, the Trade Union Act 1926 came into the existence, and again this was being carried, or there was somewhere a leadership of B.P. Vadia and N.M. Joshi. What did this Trade Union Act? What were the main provisions? आया ना, law आया, तो law का ऐसा क्या provisions थे that it strengthened the trade unions? The important provisions of the Trade Union Act was it provided for the registration of trade union. Since it provided for the registration of trade union, the trade union which were registered got certain right, they had certain obligation towards the employer, and they have got their own rights. Other than this, section number 17 and section number 18 gave this trade union an immunity against the criminal conspiracy and civil suit. यानी आगे चल के अगर any of the trade union members are involved into any kind of criminal conspiracy with the employer, the members of the executive body or the office bearers of the trade union won't be, or they are having an immunity against the criminal conspiracy, and no prosecution, no prosecution or punishment would be given to this member. So this was given through the Trade Union Act 1926. तो अगर आपको एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आता है that the Trade Union Act 1926 was the result of which of the following cases? So it was Buckingham Mill case, right? This is very, very important legislation which came into the existence as a result of the Buckingham Mill case. यहां तक समझ में आया? Please let me know. इसके बाद मैं आगे चलता हूँ. Now 19, that was the formation which gave trade unions and power to get registered. Then more things happened. More, as this phase is the era of formation of the trade union activities. बहुत सारी trade union बने अलग अलग industries में. And 1927 was the first, or this was the year when the first Labor Day, also called as May Day, was celebrated. ठीक है? तो आपको क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में पूछा जाता है which was the year when the first Labor Day celebrated. It was 1927. This was celebrated at Bombay. This is also known as Kamgar Din in Hindi. Other names I will write it down so that अगर आपको अलग अलग नाम से भी पूछा जाएगा, you would be able to remember. Then Kamgar Divas in Marathi. Then Ujai Palhar Dingam, that is Tamil, and one more name, that is your Antar Rashtriya Shramik Divas. ठीक है, ये सारे names हैं by which the first Labor Day of 19, yeah, it is celebrated on 1st May. Very good. It is celebrated anyways on 1st May, and it was 1927 when for the first time the May Day was celebrated. अब ये जो 1st May 1927 है, इसको एज ए लेबर डे सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए इट वाज इन 1923, बैक 1923 में ही इसके इनिशिएशन स्टार्ट हो गए थे. तो कई जगह पे, कई बुक्स पे आप 23 डेट भी देखोगे, वो 1923 इज फॉर इनिशिएशन. एक्चुअली इट स्टार्टेड, वहां पे शुरू हो गया था कि हमें लेबर डे एज एन मे डे सेलिब्रेट करना है. सो दिस इज द फेज, और दिस इज द सेकेंड फेज ऑफ द इवोल्यूशन ऑफ ट्रेड यूनियन. अब इसके बाद, अच्छा यहां तक समझ में आ गया? चलो लेट मी नो. Up, we will be moving to the third phase. The third phase is 1925 to 1934, which is known as period of left wing influence, or yeah, period of left wing influence on trade unions. अब See, left wing influence. This is something which is being by you can say influenced by Russian Revolution. अब इंडिया में इन इंडिया देयर वर नंबर ऑफ द लीडर्स लाइक एन रॉय एंड नंबर ऑफ द लीडर्स हु वेर एक्चुअली द पार्ट ऑफ रशियन रेवोल्यूशन ऑल्सो. ये जो ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस वगैरह बनाई गई थी, ये जो फेडरेशन बनाए गए थे, द ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस, अ फेडरेशन विच रिप्रेजेंटेड इंडिया एट इंटरनेशनल लेवल. The purpose of this particular federation was to represent India at the international level. The leader who were involved in the formation of All India Trade Union Congress, they said, we want to work for the trade unions all over the world. हमें पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए काम करना है. And All India Trade Union Congress is for basically for representing the India. उसको इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए हमने ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस बनाई. Now, this phase actually, अब मैं इसके कुछ characteristics लिखूंगी and then after writing the characteristics, I will explain you how this characteristics started or why this characteristic belong to this phase. So, by 1925, this is communist. I will explain this. Communist influence became मैंने कम्युनिस्ट का मतलब बताया था आपको. देन एरा इज मार्क्ड बाय इंक्रीजिंग militancy and a revolutionary approach. इनका मतलब क्या है? I will let you know. And All India Trade Union Congress, it got splitted number of the time. Okay. Then आपका जो ट्रेड यूनियन एक्ट है, इसी फेस का फॉर्म जो 1920 का जो बंकिंघम मिल हुआ था, तो ट्रेड यूनियन एक्ट 1926 was formed. Trade Dispute Act 1929 was formed. I will explain all of them. Then 1929 में ही Royal Commission in India was set up under the leadership of W.H. Whiteley. Up, let me make you understand. Now what happened? See, communists are the one, or communist leaders are the one who want to create their own community or classes within the society, within the industry, and they want to give the powers to those people. Public को power देना चाहते हैं. They are the communists. Now when All India Trade Union Congress, when this was formed, it was basically for international representation. So All India Trade Union Congress wanted to get affiliated. ये affiliate होना चाहता था international से. So Pacific Asia, बाद में Pacific California के साथ में ये affiliate हुआ था. But All India Trade Union Congress, when it was looking forward for the international affiliation, there were two groups. इस All India Trade Union Congress के अंदर में ही दो ग्रुप आने लगे. Splitting. There was different ideologies, different belief. एक ही ग्रुप के अंदर अलग अलग बिलीफ आने लगी. ठीक है. अब ये आइडियोलॉजीज और ये बिलीफ क्या थे? ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस when it started looking forward for the affiliation at the international level. Affiliation at the international level का मतलब है कि ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस इंटरनेशनली रिप्रेजेंट करेगी और ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड ट्रेड यूनियन को रिप्रेजेंट करेगी. सो नाउ देयर वेर टू ग्रुप्स which were formed in All India Trade Union Congress having different ideologies. These two groups were reformers and your revolutionary. ठीक है. अब इन्होंने क्या ग्रुप बनाए? ठीक है, इन्होंने क्या ग्रुप बनाए? रिफॉर्मर्स. दिस वाज जेनेवा Amsterdam group. Revolutionary Mosh मॉस्कोविट ग्रुप। अब थोड़ा सा समझो, one who wanted to affiliate to international एफिलिएशन, इंटरनेशनल जिनको एफिलिएशन चाहिए थी कि ठीक है हमें ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस को एफिलिएट करवाना है इंटरनेशनल, वो रिफॉर्मर्स थे, वो रिफॉर्म करना चाहते, वो उसी सिस्टम में काम करते हुए रिफॉर्म करना चाहते थे और एफिलिएशन चाहते थे इंटरनेशनली। सो दे वेर इन द ग्रुप कॉल्ड जेनेवा एम्स्टरडम ग्रुप, बट there were the people who were revolutionary in nature and they formed Moscovite group. They were actually influenced by Russian revolution और उनका कहना था we don't want affiliation, we don't want any kind of affiliation with international, but we want to get an affiliation. So they were wanted an affiliation with Red Labor Union. This was an Russian labor union. So international Russian labor union. तो जो रेवोल्यूशनरी ग्रुप थे वो एफिलिएट करना चाहते थे रेड लेबर यूनियन से, और कुछ रिफॉर्मर्स थे जो एफिलिएट करना चाहते थे इंटरनेशनल। एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस, जब डिफरेंट आइडियोलॉजी से लोग आए, डिफरेंट थिंकिंग से, कुछ मॉडरेटर्स थे जो उसी सिस्टम में काम करना चाहते थे, कुछ कम्युनिस्ट थे जो अपनी अपनी कम्युनिटी, जैसे ये अपनी कम्युनिटी बनाना चाहते थे, राइट। सो कुछ मॉडरेटर्स थे जो कुछ कम्युनिस्ट थे जो अपनी अपनी कम्युनिटी बना के पावर उनके ही हाथ में देना चाहते थे, रादर देन गोइंग इट इंटरनेशनल एफिलिएट होना, यानी आप किसी एक बड़ी बॉडी को पावर दे रहे हो, अपने पास पावर नहीं रख रहे हो। So this all different ideologies resulted into split. So All India Trade Union Congress in its Nagpur session 1929, this was the first time when this Nagpur session was held, and it got splitted into All India Trade Union Federation. Yeah, I'm writing it down. All India Trade Union Federation. Now, this All India Trade Union Federation was splitted from All India Trade Union Congress by moderate leaders. लाइक अब मॉडरेट लीडर्स कौन थे? एनएम जोशी, वीवी गिरी, बी शिवारा, ठीक है। सो दिस ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन, दिस वाज फॉर्म्ड इन 1930, ठीक है। क्या हुआ था? नागपुर सेशन 1929 में हुआ, 1930 में जाके ये ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन फॉर्म हुआ। इसी के अंदर में एनएम रॉय ही वॉज ऑल्सो अ कम्युनिस्ट, उन्होंने अपना, एनएम रॉय ने स्पेसिफिकली अपना रेड टक इसको फॉर्म किया। दिस वॉज इन 1931। red tuck. It is called as red tuck. Other than this, there was another split 1931 में by communist. ये दोनों चीजें आपको अलग याद रखनी है। by communist leader, I hope it's not stucking. So these communist leaders were S.V. Deshpande, B.T. Ranadive, and they formed All India Red Trade Union Congress. All India Red Trade Union Congress, which got later on dissolved. ये बाद में जाके dissolve हो गई। ठीक है, दिस इज ऑल्सो यू कैन कॉल इट एज रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस, ऑल इंडिया हटा के केवल रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस। इज दिस क्लियर? ये डिसॉल्व हो गई अब। यहां तक क्लियर है? स्प्लिट्स याद रखने, फर्स्ट एट नागपुर सेशन 1929, 1930 में ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन फॉर्म हुआ एंड 31 में बाय कम्युनिस्ट ऑल इंडिया रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस विच एनएम रॉय ने रेड टक बनाया। दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस which got dissolved, it got later on merged, ये जाके बाद में मर्ज हो गई थी ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस से ही वापस। ठीक है, 1935 में। यहां तक समझ में आ गया? फाइन। अब इसके बाद क्या हुआ? ओके, सो आई नीड टू क्लियर दिस, एक्चुअली आई विल राइट इट वंस अगेन हियर ओनली। so all India Trade Union Congress got splitted, and there were number of splits which happened. The first split by moderator, which was All India Trade Union Federation, then All India Red Trade Union Congress, which was dissolved later on or got, you can say, merged with All India Trade Union Congress in 1935. अब ये जो ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन थी, राइट, वंस द स्प्लिट हैपेंड, स्प्लिट्स हुए, स्प्लिट्स होने के बाद में नेक्स्ट फेज आया। नेक्स्ट फेज वाज नेशनल, ये हम कल की क्लास में करेंगे बट आई एम गिविंग यू द आइडिया नाउ। नेक्स्ट फेज आया जब ये पूरे ब्रेक डाउन हो गई, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर आया, ग्रेट डिप्रेशन आई। ग्रेट डिप्रेशन, दिस वाज द फेज when the trade union movement came down because of the bad economic situation, second world war, as a result of it the trade union realized कि अलग अलग से काम नहीं चलेगा, we need to get united. So number of efforts were taken especially by NM Joshi and other leader to reunite it. So all India Trade Union Federation, this merged with NFL, National Federation of Labor, National Federation of Labor, इसके साथ ये merge हो गई। So this got merged together and this resulted in NTUF 1933। 1933 के अंदर में हाँ रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस, मैंने लिखा था रेड ट्रेड, TUC था वो NM रॉय का, रेड टक और रेड ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस। यस, नहीं, 1929 जागृति, 1929 वाज द सेशन ऑफ द नागपुर, लेकिन एक्चुअली वो 30 में बनी थी, एज पर द बुक्स 30 में बनी थी। ठीक है, अब नेशनल ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन में ये दोनों मर्ज होके बन गई। दिस वाज, सो आई विल राइट हियर, नेशनल ट्रेड यूनियन फेडरेशन। डन। 1933 में ये फेडरेशन बनी। दिस वाज अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ NM जोशी, RR। ठीक है, कंबाइन हुए, यूनिटी। सो दिस वाज रिजल्ट ऑफ 1932 यूनिटी प्लेटफॉर्म, यूनिटी यू कैन से प्रिंसिपल और यूनिटी प्लेटफॉर्म। 32 का एक प्लेटफॉर्म था, यूनिटी प्लेटफॉर्म, यूनिटी प्रिंसिपल, प्रपोजल, एक्चुअली यूनिटी प्रपोजल 32 में एक प्रपोजल आया था जिसमें NFL NTUF से जुड़ गई थी। उसके बाद आगे चल के NTUF also got affiliated with All India Trade Union Congress, finally All India Trade Union Congress, ये ऑल इंडिया रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस, सॉरी दिस ऑल इंडिया रेड ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस, ये इससे जाके मर्ज हो गई 35 में, 1935 में। और NTUF got affiliated with All India Trade Union Congress in 1928 and finally by 1940 National Trade Union Federation lost its identity or it got dissolved. केवल और केवल हमारी ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस रह गई. तो ये जो स्प्लिट फेज था, ये स्प्लिट फेज जो था, द स्प्लिट फेज इज नोन एज द लेफ्ट विंग इन्फ्लुएंस. देयर वेर नंबर ऑफ द रिफॉर्मर्स एंड कम्युनिस्ट जो अलग अलग अपने आइडियोलॉजीज की वजह से स्प्लिट हुए. But the Second World War or the Great Depression era, which reduced or which brought the economy down, made the trade unions realize that unity is very important. There were number of the unity platform जो हम next class में पढ़ेंगे, which brought number of unities. Platform है, proposals हैं जो आपको पता होना चाहिए. As a result, finally, the All India Trade Union Congress was the only left out as a federation representing at international level. तो ये हमारा third phase है. If you have understood, give me the thumbs up or mention in the comment section. Rest वाला part, yes. Series of proposals क्या थे, इसके बाद में और क्या फेज आए. 1929 का एक एक्ट आया था. So 1920 एक्ट 9 का ये जो एक्ट था, ट्रेड डिस्प्यूट एक्ट, इसके प्रोविजंस क्या थे. 1929 में ट्रेड डिस्प्यूट्स, जो डिस्प्यूट्स थे बिटवीन द ट्रेड यूनियंस, डिस्प्यूट किसने रिजॉल्व करना था, डिस्प्यूट बिटवीन द एम्प्लॉय बिटवीन द यूनियंस, उनको रिजॉल्व करने के लिए 1929 में इंडियन ट्रेड डिस्प्यूट एक्ट आया, जिसने कोर्ट ऑफ इंक्वायरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट और बोर्ड ऑफ कंसिलिएशन की बात करी. तो बोर्ड ऑफ कंसिलिएशन और कोर्ट ऑफ इंक्वायरी का काम था इन्वेस्टिगेट करना मैटर्स को, और बोर्ड ऑफ कंसिलिएशन का काम था कि कंसिलिएशन के थ्रू मैटर्स को रिजॉल्व करना. So 1929 ने सेटलमेंट मशीनरीज प्रोवाइड करी, बिकॉज ऑफ विच द यूनिटी वाज, धीरे धीरे यूनिटी आने लगी. अब ये यूनिटी कैसे आई, किसके, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस बनी एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935. उस फेज में, इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस के फेज में यूनिटी प्रपोजल्स आए. वो प्रपोजल्स क्या थे हम अब कल की क्लास में करेंगे. नाउ दिस वाज फॉर द डे. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. शुरुआत से लेके अगर मैं एक बार रिवाइज करना चाहूं तो प्री 1918 का जो एरा था, दैट टाइम पीरियड वाज जस्ट एन लेबर मूवमेंट इन इंडिया. इट वाज द मूवमेंट वेयर द लेबर्स और द मूवमेंट वाज डन फॉर द वर्कर्स, नॉट बाय द वर्कर. 1851 में कॉटन मिल, 1855 में योर जूट मिल. First labor agitation was in 1875 under the leadership of S.S. Bengali. First commission on the factory was formed in 1850. 1875, as a result of which Factories Act came into the existence in 1881. Then in 1885 में again the second Factories Commission was formed, which resulted in the second Factories Act 1891. Then in 1892 में रॉयल कमीशन ऑन लेबर फॉर ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड वाज फॉर्म. उसके बाद नंबर ऑफ चीजें हुई. 1827 के अंदर में अमालगमेटेड सोसाइटी फॉर्म हुई. धीरे धीरे करके चीजें बढ़ी. 1909 में प्रिंटर यूनियन कैलकाटा आया. 1905 में प्रिंटर कैलकाटा आया. फिर 9, फिर 11. देन दैट वाज द प्री 1918 फेज. उसके बाद 1918 was the phase जहां पे फर्स्ट रजिस्टर्ड ट्रेड यूनियन मद्रास लेबर यूनियन बनी. उसके बाद 1920 का एरा, अहमदाबाद टेक्सटाइल मिल, बंकिंघम केस, ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस का फॉर्मेशन. बंकिंघम केस से 1926 का इंडियन ट्रेड यूनियन एक्ट एग्जिस्टेंस में आया. ऑल इंडिया ट्रेड यूनियन कांग्रेस में दो पार्ट्स बने, एक रिफॉर्मर्स के, एक रेवोल्यूशनरीज के, बिकॉज ऑफ विच दिस स्प्लिट हैपेंड, और स्प्लिट बाद में यूनिटी में भी कन्वर्ट हुई. इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन? हाँ ऋतु, यस 35 में ऋतु 35, 34 नहीं 35. ठीक है. So this was the session for the day. I hope you liked it. If you have liked it, subscribe to the class channel, like, share and comment in the comment box. If you have any questions, बेल आइकन पे हिट कीजिए ताकि आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिलता रहे. And we would be meeting our next class. Okay, that is in on next Friday. Next Friday we would have the next part number 3, जिसमें हम यूनिटी वाला काम करें पढ़ेंगे और चीजों को इस इवोल्यूशन वाला कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. ठीक है.